The wind over the Siberian plain carried a sound that was half whispered, half warning, a reminder that Russia, the largest nation on Earth, had once again become the epicenter of global fear. It wasn't always this way. But by the mid-2020s, headlines around the world labeled it the most dangerous country on the planet. And this story begins with the people who lived beneath those headlines. In a land where danger had many faces, a country of contrasts, Russia was a place of endless snow, ancient cities, and fierce beauty. Its culture produced poets and warriors, composers and explorers. For centuries, it stood at the crossroads of East and West. Always powerful, often feared. But by 2025, the nation's name echoed with a new intensity: sanctions, political tensions, and wars on its borders had pulled it into a storm of suspicion. Militarization reached levels not seen since the Cold War. The world watched it with caution. Some watched with fear. And inside Russia, ordinary people lived between pride and uncertainty. The journalist Alina Volkov, stood at the window of her apartment in St. Petersburg. Snowflakes drifted down like ashes. She was once known for writing about culture and art, the Great Hermitage, the quiet canals, the ballet. But lately, her editor demanded something else: tell the world what it feels like inside the most dangerous country on Earth. Alina didn't feel dangerous. She felt tired of new laws, new restrictions, new secrets, tired of hearing the same words on every channel: security, threat, enemy, danger. But she also felt responsible. Someone had to speak. The return of the Iron Shadow on the other side of Russia. Colonel Yuri Sokolov looked across a frozen military base in the Far East. He had served for 32 years, watching Russia rise, fall, and rise again. He believed in strength. He believed in discipline. But even he felt the tension in the air. Rumors of new conflicts grew louder. New weapons were tested in the Arctic. New alliances formed. Old treaties collapsed. Some said Russia was defending itself. Others claimed it was preparing for something bigger. But to Yuri, one truth was clear: every nation becomes dangerous when it feels cornered. A world on. Edging international analysts and governments pointed to the same indicators: elevated conflict on multiple borders, high crackdowns, information warfare, arsenal, global diplomatic ice. Traced to the region, Russia didn't deny everything, nor did it admit anything fully. The result was uncertainty, and uncertainty is the most dangerous weapon of all. In Moscow, the city glowed with lights, but fear ran beneath the streets like an underground river. Alina arrived for an interview with a former diplomat named Anton Lebedev. He had worked in embassies from Berlin to Beijing. He had seen the world change, and he had watched Russia change with it. She asked, "Why do people call us the most dangerous country?" Anton slowly stirred the sugar in his tea and replied, because danger is not only about weapons, it's about unpredictability. And now, the world does not know what Russia will do next, or what will happen inside Russia itself. Alina wrote every word, but she wanted to understand more, to balance her story. She traveled to a remote village in the Ural Mountains. There she met elderly farmers, teachers, children who played in the snow with laughter louder than fear. One old man, Mikhail, smiled as he fixed his wooden fence. "People abroad think we wake up every day wanting war," he chuckled. "No, my dear. We wake up wanting bread, work, and peace, like everyone else." His words warmed Alina more than her winter coat. This was the other Russia, the forgotten Russia, not dangerous, not violent, just surviving. But danger doesn't always come from intentions. Sometimes it comes from accidents. In early winter, international satellites detected unusual military activity near the Arctic Circle, Russia's new frontier of power. Nations panicked. News channels exploded. Social media filled with speculation. Was it a test? A message? A mistake? Colonel Yuri received urgent orders. Troops were mobilized. Aircraft scrambled into the freezing sky. The world held its breath, and Alina, now back in Moscow, realized her article was turning into something much bigger. Something that could change everything. Books say that Russia is a land of fate. And fate brought Alina and Colonel Yuri together during a press briefing at the Defense Ministry. Alina asked a question few dared to ask. "Colonel, do you believe Russia is the most dangerous country in the world?" The room froze. Yuri looked at her, a journalist seeking truth. A soldier sworn to protect his homeland. After a long silence, he answered, "Greater than Russia is dangerous because it has been wounded many times. A wounded bear is always the most unpredictable creature in the forest." The quote became global within hours. Days passed. Rumors intensified. Some feared an imminent conflict. Others hoped diplomacy would pull the world back from the edge. Finally, the Arctic incident was revealed. A misinterpreted military exercise. Not an attack. The world exhaled. For now, but the fear remained. Alina published her 18-page investigation titled, "Russia: the Beauty, the Fear, the Fire." She wrote about the power struggles, the fears of ordinary citizens, the perspective of soldiers, the global tension, the fragile peace holding the world together. Her final paragraph became iconic. Greater than Russia is called dangerous, not only because of what it does, but because of what the world believes it might do. To understand the danger, you must understand the people, and behind every shadow in Russia, there is also a light. Yuri read the article. Anton read it. Mikhail, in the village, heard it on the radio. For a moment, Russia felt seen, not as a monster, not as a victim, but as a complex, powerful, wounded, beautiful nation caught between history and the future. As winter deepened, Alina walked through Red Square. Snow fell softly on the cobblestones. Tourists, murmured, guards, marched. Life continued. She whispered into the cold air. Danger is not a country. Danger is fear. And fear grows when the world stops listening. And somewhere, across the vast frozen land, the wind carried her words into the distance. A reminder that stories can be more powerful than armies. And understanding can be stronger than fear.